This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Hello and welcome to Iking Live. I'm your host, Iking. Our topic tonight is agricultural social enterprise. Now, that's a lot to talk about. I think not too many people are familiar with what a social enterprise is. So it would be interesting to know what is an agricultural social enterprise. And for that, we have as our guest Mr. Jay Tabanya. Good evening, Jay.
Good evening.
Okay. Jay is head of the CropLink division of the FoodLink Advocacy Cooperative. This is very interesting. He's into FoodLink, he's into advocacy, and he is a cooperative. Yeah. Interesting, because we're also interested in cooperative. We try to cover the cooperative movement as much as possible. So, Jay, please tell us, what is an agricultural social enterprise and what does FoodLink Advocacy Cooperative do?
Oh, that's interesting. Anyway, first of all, thank you for this privilege to be part of your program. Well, I think there's a reason for everything. There's a purpose why I'm here.
Yes.
Number one is that the agricultural social enterprise basically is actually an initiative wherein our hope, our dreams, is to transform the farming community, especially the rural areas, the countryside, into a social enterprise, that they become the agricultural producing power in Asia to produce agri-products. That's one. Social, because it has relevance to the stakeholders in the community wherein they will be very much involved. And then it's treated as a business.
Okay.
Because it's an enterprise. So basically, if the buzzword today is, if you're talking about inclusive growth, this is our proposal, as well as a provocative question to put it as is, that this is a map out supply value chain that would adhere to the inclusive growth.
Yeah, actually, yung inclusive growth should be a derivative of inclusive society.
Exactly. Yes,
Papunta tayo dun sa inclusive society, but to get there, kailangan mo muna ng inclusive growth. Go ahead, please.
That's why we're here. That's why we put it as a social enterprise, community-based program, wherein majority of the farmers would become the business owners. And that would, in turn, would benefit their families, as well as the end user or the market user. At the very end of
That's
this.
That's fantastic. In effect, you're also addressing poverty.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
That's why you're a social enterprise.
Yeah. The sad part about farming here is that when they call you, oh, it's just a farmer.
Magsasaka lang po.
Yeah. The connotation is that, oh, he's poor.
Hamak na magsasaka.
Exactly. But if you go to Europe and if you go to the U.S., most of these farmers are really the one that's generating the wealth.
Siguro nasa culture natin yun, Jay, kasi that's the same thing that the workers would say, manggagawa lang po.
Yes, exactly.
Karpentero lamang, no?
But
these are actually professions, eh.
Yes. Not only as a profession, not only as a vocation, what we want to emphasize to the farmers that this is a business. But
It's
for
a
one,
business. Okay.
for
good.
one is that most of our farmers, majority of the population in the Philippines is that really, we were not trained to become entrepreneurs or business people. And that's exactly the dilemma, because the mindset is an 8 to 5 job. And then when you have a classification of a farmer as well as a white-collar worker in Makati, where there's a big difference, because again, the projection of a white-collar worker is that they earn so much. But yet, we as a nation are importing majority of our food products from abroad rather than us producing it here. And then giving an emphasis to the farmers that, hey, we can produce.
But you're saying is yung demand na yun for food can actually be met by farmer enterprises, no?
Yes, yes.
Are you already looking into the context of family farm? I'm also writing about that. Family farm, ergo, family enterprises actually.
Right.
Wherein ang pananaw is not just on the farmer as an individual, but the other members of a family.
Yes.
Nag-research ako sa Amerika, meron ng legal basis But sa Pilipinas, wala pa.
Well,
Oo.
our model is basically really a family-based or community-based farming.
But there is no legal basis that supports it, no?
Exactly.
For instance, if there is a legal basis for a family farm, hindi sana mayroong incentives from the local government, mayroong priority lane siguro sa land bank, mga ganun ba?
Yeah.
But we need to have that legal basis. Go ahead, please.
Exactly. That's why here, why it's map out, because from the concept of the whole supply value chain, each of those families that are in the community or as part of the stakeholders, that they will be engaged or involved in every business activity. So if they're in the organizing of a co-op or a public organization, they're part of the business chain or the value chain. And then when they are also doing the rollout for training and capacity building for the farmers as well as technology transfer, they are also part of the value chain. So for example, like you have a breeder farm or you have a nursery, that itself is a business. And then from the planting stage or the plantation stage is that each farmer family member headed by the father or the wife, they could enroll in the program. And then they would benefit from there.
Jay, let's just put it another way. Kasi yung audience natin sanay na sa lengguwahe ng cellphone.
Yeah, okay.
Sa cellphone kasi nag-upgrade ka, di ba?
Right.
That's what you're doing, right?
Exactly.
Kina-upgrade
Exactly.
nyo yung farmer.
Yes, exactly.
So that hindi na siya yung sinasabing magsasaka lang.
Right, yes.
Kundi magiging farmer entrepreneur.
Yes.
Negosyante.
And we're very strict when it comes to promoting as a business, because the mindset is really dole out. You know, we have this American culture, it's a dole out. That's why most of the programs of the past in the government would always end up to nothing because there's no sustainability. Second is that the mindset is that, oh, the government owes us, they should support us. What we want to do here is that there's a sense of ownership, responsibility, and accountability. We want them to be accountable to what they have. So if I'm a recipient of, for example, if I'm a recipient of or a beneficiary of a DAR, agrarian reform, 1 to 5 hectares, usually 5 hectares, after they will give it to me, what will
And that's big enough to become a family farm,
yes,
right?
Yes, yes.
Oo.
In fact, there are some stories we have in Davao who are, before they used to generate their income from the coconuts or copra. Now with the intercropping of cacao and others, is that their earning have not only doubled but quadrupled.
It's a good product mix also.
Yes, exactly.
In terms of waiting for harvest time,
Yes.
no?
And then we teach them the cycle of harvesting, planting, so that every month there's always an income generation for the crop that are being placed there. Well, coconut is really a tree of life. It's a business tree for us. You know, there's a 1 year, there's a 3 year, there's a 7-year program for coconuts. You can earn as much as, not only in the copra side, not only in the cocoa water or the buko water, but there's so many things you can earn from coconuts.
Would it be right to say that you are actually providing a consulting service?
Yes, of sort. It's a consulting service that organizes the community, give them capacity building, train them, and then the most important part is that we link them with the market.
I was going to ask you that. What do you mean when you say you link them? Do you become the trader? Or
No,
do you
we're
become
not.
the broker?
No, we're not. What we do is that we enhance the farm.
Mhm.
The market or the buyer, the market, is part of the system that would directly deal with the farmers. So they're working hand in hand. What we do is basically organize them and then eventually integrate them to the system with the market to make sure that the farmers sells their product directly at least to
But you are
the
not
market.
the middleman.
We're not the middleman.
You are the replacement
Yes.
of the
We,
middleman.
as much as possible, we don't want to be the middleman because if the contract is 10-year program of buying cacao beans, for example, or copra, we want them to deal directly. However, because of what we do is most of the farmers cannot afford a consulting fee, which is very
Okay.
expensive.
How many clients do you have now?
Right now, we're working one in Bicol. In Tacloban, there are about 3 or 4 that are still in the pipeline.
When you count those are farm clients.
These are farm clients, yes.
Probably family farms, probably.
Family farms, tribal farms.
Oh, really?
Yes, tribal
Okay.
farms.
Are you ready to accept more clients?
Yes, definitely.
Oh, there you
yes,
go,
definitely.
Sinabi na ni Jay,
Yes, yes.
At the end of this interview, I'm going to give you a little time to speak out to everyone, no?
Yeah,
Kasi that's what people are looking for, actually.
yeah. Yes,
Management
sure.
service, no?
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
So, and hopefully, it's like a paid forward. They can also train other farmers. What we want to do is that when we train one organization, we can bring them to another area to train others.
Just like pass it on, huh?
Yes, just like pass it. Just like pass it on. Just like pass it on. It's interesting because again, the farming community here in our country, well, especially Mindanao. In fact, the Mindanao has the model already, but except that most of the one running it are the multinationals. But there is a model already of a cooperative type or a farm managed by families as well as a group of farmers.
Well, if you
or
could
tribes.
duplicate the skills of the Kunsunhis and the Kuhankos and transfer it to a smallholder farm, that would be great.
That is our dream. That is our dream. In fact,
Yes.
we don't stop there. The moment that they're generating income or generating or wealth accumulation or asset is that we want them to transform to buying other businesses as well. Because again, the supply value chain right now for agri is that we don't have a processing center for cacao.
Yes.
We're only
yes.
producing about 12,000 to 14,000 metric tons a year. And most of these cacao beans are shipped to Malaysia or Indonesia for processing because that's the nearest processing center. Because cacao has 3 byproducts, butter, liquor, and powder. And our way of processing here is what we call a stablia, rolled
Yes.
into one. We just
That's the best we could do.
yeah, we
for
just
now.
grind it, mix it, and all that. In fact, one of our pilot project in Bicol right now is we're trying to produce a European type confectioner chocolate candy it's a dark chocolate. It's made from cacao that has pili, that has mocha, that has sili.
Consumer product.
Consumer
ngayon,
product.
Or material.
It's a consumer product. We call it
Fantastic, yeah.
Bicolate. We call it Bicolate, and maybe one day I'll come back here and then bring you the samples
Sure.
and all that. It's Bicolate. It will be one of the product that we want to promote in Bicol as a
Interesting.
pasalubong. So it's like if you go to
Interesting.
Belgium, I have a Belgian chocolate, or we have a Swiss chocolate. So when you
Bicolan
open
yan.
that, yeah, it's Bicolandia. This would help the mothers as well as the farmers there
That's great.
to come out with a product that's really purely Filipino.
Well, God bless you for what you're doing.
Well, thank you.
That's why it's a social enterprise, because it's not all about money.
Yes,
But you have to make money to survive.
exactly.
But while making money, you're helping others.
Yes, and the beauty about this social enterprise is we want to have, because our challenges is the mindset. We are, part of the program is a values-based training. And then they're trained into the basics of finance, the basics of management and marketing and operation in the common language.
Okay, give me some numbers, Jay. How many people are you helping now directly, more or less?
Well,
With about 10 clients that you mentioned?
one in Bicol, we're starting to roll out with another
Including
partner.
dependents, huh? Including dependents.
Yeah, if 2,000 hectares has about 5, it's about around about 100 families, more or less. In
About
Bicol alone.
500 people.
Or 500 people.
Well, there are about 30 million more farmers
Exactly,
waiting
exactly,
for you.
Exactly.
Okay, I'd like to spend the last 5 minutes on ancestral domains.
Okay.
That's where we met.
Yes, exactly.
In the
Yes,
conference for indigenous
yes,
people.
yes,
No?
yes.
You seem to have a soft heart for the indigenous people also. What are your plans
Yes,
for them?
that's very true.
Mhm.
Our IPs, the
Mhm.
indigenous people, are owners of a huge tracts of what we call as
They're richer
cattails.
than us,
They're richer
actually.
than us. The sad part is that at the end of any project, they were the least, if not the last, to receive a good, benefits out of the project.
Yes.
So in the IP lands, what we try to address is the environment, preservation of the natural resources.
Yes.
But we can do projects that are sustainable.
Yes.
The second part is that the national greening program of the government. Now, most of our mountains as well as properties of the IPs are denuded.
Mhm.
And what we want to do is to regenerate or do a replanting program.
Of course, that's possible,
Perhaps.
right?
Yes.
Reforestation.
Very, 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 very
I've seen it
possible.
happen already.
Yeah. Like the one in Claveria and in a part of Cagayan de Oro and Iligan. That's why the Sendong case was really is an eye-opener for us.
Mhm.
Because the land were denuded, there were a lot of mining things, but if they plant palm oil, coconuts, rubber, coffee, that could
So
really
biodiverse,
biodiverse.
including some trees,
Yes, including some trees.
hardwood, softwood,
Yes,
all
Gibellina
together,
and all
no?
that all together.
Okay.
And that design is holistic because we are addressing the community. And then each IP has their own style or culture where you need to preserve the way they are sheltered. So our approach is holistic. We
Are you saying that maybe 10, 20, 30 years from now we can recover the forest?
that is our dream. That is our dream.
Doable.
It's doable. That's
Mhm.
possible.
Mhm.
But we need a concerted effort from the government, from the private sector, from the non-profit organizations,
Mhm.
as well as the tribes themselves,
Mhm.
the tribal community, so that
That's
we
a
can-
lot of coordination.
Exactly, exactly. That's why that's where we put our premium in doing this. That's why we're very strict in requiring to an orientation and awareness before they get into training, so that they understand what we're doing.
I think the government and the private sector could really reinforce each other
Yes.
because the government has come up with programs, loans, and all that. It's about time that the private sector will come in and do some equilibrium with the government to also keep out the bad guys,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
the illegal loggers,
Oh, yeah.
the illegal miners.
Yes. Yes. In fairness to our government, they're really good program.
Yes.
And I think what's lacking is really a holistic approach, wherein the market is at the forefront rather than at the end.
Precisely. The government has many programs, but they need cooperation of the private sector,
Yes,
especially when it comes to knowledge and market.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's why we reverse the whole thing. Before, the government gives out subsidies of planting materials or the resources, the training, but there was no market.
Mhm.
What we're doing right now in our model is that the market is at the forefront before we go to the
It's
community.
reverse approach.
It's reverse
huh?
approach.
Okay.
Reverse approach.
I can appreciate that. I know where you're coming from.
That's the,
I've come from that situation. Yes.
So, for example, like cacao right now, there are three major players here. Barry Callebaut is a European group that supplies all the cacao products. Mars to Kennemer Foods,
Sige.
which is a KFI run
Okay.
by a Dutch guy.
Bigyan lang natin ng konting inspirasyon yung mga ancestral domains natin. So, through you, they can plant cacao, o sabi
Yes,
ng mga Amerikano,
yes.
cacao,
Cacao, yeah.
palm oil, coconuts,
Yes,
and
yes,
forage.
yes.
Yan ba yung mga napier? Is
Yes,
that
the
it?
beer, yes, yes.
Sige, we have 1 more minute left,
Okay,
Jay.
yes.
I-inspire mo naman yung mga ancestral domain natin, yung mga coastal communities, mga family farms, no? Tell them what you can do.
Yes.
Andiyan na.
I would like to share to you, mga katutubo. I call them mga katutubo. no?
Sama
That-
ako dyan.
Yes.
Ako si
Well,
Dato Manbahandi.
Actually, we are really katutubo in this
Aha,
country,
aha.
that there is hope in your life, in your family,
Yes.
in your land where you are right now.
Mhm.
That's rich. Now, we have one of the richest soil in Asia.
Mhm.
And that pwede kayong umasa, but we need to perspire to be inspired.
With a little help from your friends.
Yes, we did that from our friends. So
Yeah.
yun lang, talagang ito ay proseso. Kasi hindi naman to instant. There's a process. It's just like planting a tree or planting a fruit tree, that it will take a while before it will yield fruit. So, kayo that you are in that sa mga taga Mindanao, sa Visayas, sa Palawan, sa Bicol, yung mga agta natin, no? There is hope in all of this.
Sige po. Actually po, ito naman si Jay, hindi naman siya nag-iisa. Marami akong nadidiscover yung mga tao katulad niya.
Thank you po. Thank you.
So there is hope, no? At ayan, naka-flash naman yata yung email address at saka telephone number. If you are a tribe out there, or if you are a social enterprise, a family farm, just give us a buzz and hahantingin ko ito si Jay para isubo sa inyo. Good evening, Jay. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Iking.
Take it away, baby. That's good. Kwento-kwento.